And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to a new look Hive here on twitch.tv/Hive Esports game. We've rebranded and sort of reworked ourselves, but we are still the same old tournament. It's week 5 of the Hive Esports Teamfight Tactics series in its first ever season. I am Will, and this is George, as you can see by our new lovely nameplates that we have got on the bottom of the screen, but nothing changing in the series today for week number 5. Just 2 regular old games of TFT with 8 points for the winner, 1 point for 8th place, and everything in between. After a Pasta Lover sweep in week number 4 has brought the fight for the championship ever closer, but with Newt Silver streaking away in first place, the front runners are really starting to establish themselves as we reach the halfway point. Some amazing action that we saw in week number 4, as you mentioned, with that sweep from Pasta Lover. Is he potentially an outside contender for the championship? Anyone else you're potentially looking out for in week number 5, George?
Yeah, Pastelava, like absolute sweep last week. Came from absolutely nowhere. The first few weeks didn't do so well, but yeah, just absolutely dominated last week. I believe they got like that prismatic soul fighter. So yeah, very well played.
Definitely a amazing sweep from him, dominant as well. Steph, though, with that fairy tale run in game number 2, came oh so close, was as low as 7th on the leaderboard in the early game. Managed to hold on just 5 points for almost the entire
Yep.
game, and it was just that one win away. Ended on just 7 points as well for Pasta Lover, so it was that final game that decided it all. But we're going to take a quick reminder for the points, the leaderboard, as they stand at the end of week number 4. They're going to pop up just on the left-hand side of the screen. You see Newt Silver leads the way with 2 wins on the season, 13 points ahead of Jai in second place with the most wins, still 3. And then it's a massive fight for second place between Patat, Pasta Lover, and Coco Slayer, all of whom find themselves separated by just 9 points. Steph in 6th place on 30 points, Extra Thick and Retro separated by just 3 points. Mr. Mango on 19 points, and then Nickety, Minty, Mini Legend, and Ty all on single digits, with Ty yet to make an appearance. Just looking at the leaderboard quickly, anyone who stands out to you, George?
Well, obviously Pastelava with those insane plays last week, definitely a contender to look out for. But we will get into the game now, I believe, and we will watch everyone hopefully get their wins.
Definitely, we're jumping in to game number 1 now. The planning phase has just started, and there's your week 4 sweeper, Pasta Lover, starting to build a team competition with our first PvE round. And as you can see on the bottom right, with some extra new graphics, we've got some bonus points. So for achieving a prismatic trait, you'll get 2 points. That's something we'll see more of in the end game. And a soul fighter as well will give you an additional point. Achieving a 3-star 4-cost unit will get you a point. 3-star 5-cost will get you an additional 3 points. And you'll get an additional point for a 3-star unit, which is one of Jinx, Yumi, Ashe, or Set. So that, George, will incentivize a lot of these players to potentially divert away from the meta for a little while, try and get some new units that they're potentially not familiar with, to try and get those bonus points that, as we saw last week, could be all important.
Yeah, like we saw last week, a lot of people were going for those bonus points, but unfortunately, a lot of people also didn't get them. There was lots of contesting. Some people were holding units from other people, so very, very cutthroat out there on the Hive TFT tournament battleground. Trademarked, no one else can use that. But yeah, hopefully we will see some of those variations in comps to give us a bit of variety. So yeah.
Definitely never fun to see the same 8 comps over and over. Soul Fighter and Mighty Mech seem to be the popular choices at the moment. Still got some PvE action going on, everyone seemingly finding them quite routinely easy with our 8 players. So just the one lobby again tonight. So we have our first Augment Picks, Gold Augment Picks in phase number 2-1 for our players. 2 Trick Pandora's items 2, and Scavenger 1 reroll there for, I believe this is Mini Legend we are focused on at the minute. Just 3 points for Mini Legend in his debut last week, with a 7th place and an 8th place, finds himself just 12th in points, ahead of only Ty, who has yet to make an appearance. Something of a comeback, I think, is what Mini Legend is going to be looking for today.
Yeah, after that somewhat abysmal debut, yeah, hopefully he can get some more points this week, put himself on that leaderboard. But yeah, as we can see here, going for a Battle Academia, potentially an Executioner Katarina, a comp that's been quite popular. I believe we saw it a couple of times last week and again the week before that. So yeah, it's quite a strong comp at the moment. And clearly people seem to be enjoying it. So
we'll see if that proves pivotal there. We've got Mini Legend and Steph battling out in the first fight of the day, and it's Steph getting the win over Mini Legend with Newt Silver and Kami, as well as Jai losing their games. So it's Pastelova, Coco Slayer, Steph, and Retro that get their first wins of the evening in game number 1 of week 5. So they find themselves on 100 points, Jai on 96, Mini Legend 95, Newt Silver as well on 95 points, Kami on 94.
yeah, a new player today actually, Kami. Hopefully a better debut than Mini Legend this week. The crew, Kami, a very a person that's very fond of those reroll comps. Last set, he enjoyed the family a lot, which was a comp where the more you rerolled, the more star levels you got on your units, the stronger they would get. So no surprise here that he is going for the crew. Yeah, another comp that the more star levels you get, the stronger the comp gets. But the crew is a pretty popular comp for us, so hopefully he doesn't get too contested.
Definitely. Well, it's a second loss in a row for Kami, potentially trying to get something of a loss streak going. It's a second win in a row for Retro. Jai with the first win, Coco Slayer with the first loss of the evening. So those two unable to get something of a streak going. Pastelova, Steph, and Retro remain undefeated. Coco Slayer and Jai on 1 loss each. Newt Silver, Mini Legend, and Kami both losing both their battles so far. So Kami not off to the greatest start, but of course, such is the nature of TFT. Loss streaking is a very viable strategy, so it can always be deceiving to see someone starting off not too great. As of course, that's going to help their economy, get their gold for additional units, invest in some EXP and the like. So definitely look for players like Jai. We know they're very good at loss streaking. Potentially Kami could be the same. We've seen, you know, even Steph last week maybe wasn't intending to loss streak, but used that economy that he was getting from not having the best start to eventually come back and almost win game 2 of week 4. We've now got Retro versus Pastelova, two players who have won both their games, so a streak will be snapped here, and it'll be pivotal for whoever can win. It looks to be Pastelova now, who's got a massive numerical advantage over Retro, and that does snap Retro's win streak. 3 in a row for Pastelova and for Steph as well. Coco Slayer getting the win as well in his game, moves himself up to 3rd. We're back into the carousel. Only 2 players remain undefeated in Pastelova and Steph. Coco Slayer in 3rd, Retro in 4th, Jai 5th, Kami 6th with their first win, Newt Silver and Mini Legend 3 and 0-3.
Yeah, as you saw, Retro with that that unit augment there, the Dr. Mundo, makes him a ranged carry, so that can be exciting. It's always fun when a spanner gets thrown in the works with an unusual comp like that, and definitely good for our, you know, variety and excitement. But a very mixed carousel, but it seems people are gravitating more towards damaging options, as we can see a lot of people already have a lot of frontline. So yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be many units contested for the moment. Obviously that can all change, you know, maybe comps don't go players where they have to be adaptable. What they have in their mind, phase 1-1 may not come to be if they can't get the units that they need and the like, so they have to be adaptable, ready to change, and that might mean stealing a unit from someone else who's trying to go for that same comp. It's very cutthroat in the carousel. It might be all nice and colourful, but it is very, very cutthroat. We now have Pastelova versus Steph here, the 2 players who remain undefeated 3-0 in this first game of week 5. So something does have to give between these two immediately. Pastelova's frontline looking particularly strong, but the healing from Steph's backline doing numbers. But a double pick there should secure the win for Pastelova, as now his backline simply won't be able to cope with the pressure from Pastelova. It's a 4v1. Steph unable to do much about it. The healing looks strong, but it's simply not enough to overcome the sheer damage output that Pastelova is able to put out He's 4-0 and looks to have the best streak at the moment alongside Mini Legend on a 4-loss streak who sits in last place. But that is now Steph down to P3 with his first loss of the evening. Coco Slayer up to second.
Yeah, Pastelava there going Star Guardian. A pretty good early game comp, but as we can also see, that 2-star Syndra, that 2-star Cannon, and that 2-star Ral, just like such a strong front line. As we can see, that regenerative power-up as well, just a lot of healing combined with that Spirit Visage, just not gonna die. And yeah, Steph with the Wraith comp, just not exactly getting his units yet. But yeah, Wraith is definitely a comp that we've seen him play quite a lot, so I'm pretty sure he went it last week, but I'm not sure if that was the comp that got him to second, so maybe he needs to add a little bit more variety to his pool, his pool,
yeah,
his
his repertoire. An
Sorry.
adaptable player, definitely.
Yeah.
Will obviously, like I say, if units get contested and whatnot, an adaptable player definitely will rise to the cream of the crop. And while we were talking about Steph's comps there, I see Pastelov getting a 5th win in a row. The fire lights around his avatar there at the top of the leaderboard. He remains unparalleled, 5-0, looking to carry a lot of the momentum from week 4 where he swept the week with very minimal pressure. Definitely a close run game in game 2 with Steph, who does sit in second place. So a bit of deja vu at the minute as we are soon to enter phase 3. We've got some PvE though to take care of. Everyone should routinely win these. Very rarely do you see players losing their PvE fights.
Yeah.
This is simply for economy, for additional units and the like. You see Coco Slayer, Kami already winning their games, and soon enough the checks will come by every single player's name. There's a reminder, Pastelova is on 5 wins in a row. No one really are on a streak like that. Even Mini Legend has got his first win now, so that 4-loss streak has been snapped. Pastelova definitely looks to have the strongest econ at the moment. We're just 20 seconds away from heading back into the battlefield. It's now phase 3.
Yeah, as we saw just a second ago, Coco Slayer also going the crew, which isn't going to be great for Kami, but due to the majority of the crew units being pretty low value, there should be a lot of them within the pool, but might just make it a little bit harder to scale into that late game. It's almost like his ears are burning, just appeared there as well. But yeah, as we can see, he's not getting the most of the units. Unfortunately, Coco Slayer just taking them a little bit more. Yeah.
Of course, Coco Slayer is level 5. Kami still remains at level 4, so Coco Slayer does have those additional units. He's put them to good use in his battle against Kami. Pastelova, you see there with a 6th win in a row. Coco Slayer up to second place with losses for Steph, Kami, Giant, and Mini Legend. So Mini Legend back down to last place with Retro all the way back up to 3rd. And I believe we've got some Prismatic Augment choices now.
Yeah, Prismatic Augment's definitely exciting. As we see there, Coco Slayer with the Pandora's Items 3, giving them a Radiant item, which could be absolutely game-changing. Radiant items provide lots of stat values, and their passives can be like pretty strong as well. So yeah, definitely a really strong augment from Coco Slayer there.
Definitely a good choice there for Coco, so that'll be really, really important for him as well. Prismatic traits as well. Maybe not in the not-so-distant future as well for Coco Slayer, of course, worth 2 points if he can get one of those, and we saw how important those bonus points can be, especially with how tight the fight for second place is. And at the minute, Newt Silver, the series points leader, she's got a 13-point gap, which is a nice cushion. It means no matter what, she will be in the lead after game 1 at the very least. But with 2 games still to be played tonight, there might be room to capitalize for some of the trailing pack. We've got Steph versus Coco Slayer now. Both players with a very, very strong front line, as we've seen already in this game. The backline range damage now from Coco Slayer being put to work here, but now with an additional unit for Steph, he gets that pick in the middle of the battlefield and good healing as well. Gets 1 pick, gets 2 picks, a pick for Coco Slayer, but it's a 3v1, and Steph does get the win against Coco Slayer, and that's the 2nd loss in a row for Coco Slayer. I believe Steph moves back up into position number 4. Mini Legend still in 8th, Newt Silver in 7th, Kami 6th, Jai 5th. But Pastelova remains undefeated, 7-0. Retro up to P2.
Yeah, absolutely no idea where this is coming from, Pasta Lover, but yeah, as we can see, Steph with those Radiant Relics, unfortunately, well, not really unfortunately, but Pandora's items let you reroll that item, but Steph just had to go with the item he got given. So yeah, that Gargoyle Stone Plate giving him a little bit of extra healing, more armor, magic resist, and health, just out tanking Pasta Love Coco Slayer, who decided to hold on to that item and hope that it rerolls for something better. So not great right now, but will hopefully pull them up in the late game.
We've now got Jai and Steph now duking it out. This is the first time we're going to see Jai on the battlefield tonight so far. Of course, sits in second place in the series standings with the most wins, 3, including a week 2 sweep for Jai, so we know how strong they are, particularly at loss streaking. They've not had the hottest start at the minute. They sit in just 4th, but unable to establish either a win or a loss streak. But that was a fairly convincing victory against Steph for Jai. Moves him up to 3rd place. Wins for Retro and Pastelov as well. Keep them in 1st and 2nd. Jai onto the podium as we head back into the carousel.
Yeah, very close from Steph, unfortunately, that Kale in the backline just got sniped by that Akali. But yeah, he's holding on to that rage, that needlessly large rod instead of making a rage blade. So I wonder if he has something else planned here. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate. But as we saw, Jai going for Soul Fighter yet again. I believe that's his favorite comp because that's what we've seen him go for the majority of the competition, actually. So yeah, maybe he'll get that prismatic Soul Fighter again for those 2 bonus points, but then that additional point today for the Soul Fighter prismatic. So yeah.
We're now taking a look at Mini Legends comp with a Battle Academia. It seems to be there as he sits in 7th place, just 59 points. Newt Silver, though, with that most recent loss, down to last. So a far cry from our championship leader, who sits on 57 points, both in the series and in this game at the minute, ironically. As we head back into the battlefield, Mini Legend versus Kami. This is 6th versus 7th. So this will be a fairly important matchup, as we'll be keeping track on the right-hand side of everyone else's matches as well. Every one of these units seemingly gravitating straight towards the middle of the pack. Mini Legend and Kami both going for frontline damage, and it looks to be Mini Legend getting a lot of damage and a massive numerical advantage over Kami. And that was a fairly convincing win for Mini Legend, as Newt Silver as well gets the win. Kami and Mini Legend now find themselves tied for 6th. Newt Silver just 2 points behind. Pasta Lover and Steph still going at it, but Pasta Lover does just about get the victory over Steph. A loss for Retro brings Jai within just 2 points of him, as well as a loss, I believe, for Coco Slayer brings him down to P5. So immediately a big swing in the leaderboard, but Pasta Lover reaching level 7 now has 8 wins in a row, remains undefeated. At the moment, Pasta Lover looks the strongest, but again, the leaderboard, especially as early as phase 3, can be very deceiving.
Yeah. Yeah, Mini Legend showing us why that Katarina comp is good. Despite Kami having some insane frontline, as we saw that Malphite just survived for so long, that Katarina has the ability to just jump in the background, backline and just delete them all. I believe that's the comp Steph went last week, where he came 2nd, unfortunately. So, yeah.
Now got a big fight on here between Jai and Coco Slayer. Notice Jai level 6, nearly level 7. Coco Slayer still sitting at just level 5, waiting to see how he invests his economy. But Jai immediately has a numbers advantage over Coco Slayer and also sits in 3rd in the leaderboard. And that was convincing as anything for Jai. Coco Slayer knocked down to 5th. Steph with a win. Retro losing puts Jai up into 2nd place. Kami gets the win. Mini Legend and Newt Silver also falling by the wayside. Means that a couple changes in position is all that's on offer, but still now 9 in a row for Pasta Lover. Looks absolutely untouchable at the minute. A 3-star pick there for Kami, with the Shen unit potentially helping the crew composition. As we know, they're very fond of that. We'll see if that helps him in the late game. But for now, sits in 6th place only. Some more PvE on the cards, though, as we're about to enter phase 4.
Yeah, a steady climb for Kami at the moment. Wasn't doing too great in the early game, but he's got that 3-star Sever, he's got that 3-star Malphite, and as we just saw, that 3-star Shen. So definitely scaling. Like, unfortunately, Coco Slayer is still going that crew comp, so he will struggle to get that Ziggs, and potentially that Twisted Fate as well. But he has the prismatic reroll augment that, you know, when you reroll, you have a 45% chance to get an additional reroll, which is going to be absolutely essential in helping him hit those units.
To see Kami as well, and we mentioned the crew comp. Coco Slayer just now got a 3-star Malphite as well, and would you look at that, it's the two crew comps coming up against each other. Kami versus Coco Slayer. Kami level 6, Coco Slayer level 5, and they are 5th and 6th in the leaderboard. So this is all to play for a pivotal game to see who's fleshed out their comp the best, and immediately it's Kami tearing through the front line. We'll see if Coco Slayer's backline has anything to say about it. It does not. An overwhelming victory for Kami puts them up to 5th place. Coco Slayer all the way down to 7th. Mini Legend and Newt Silver also losing out. Pasta Lover and Jai 1st and 2nd. The last game to be played, and they are still fighting. Who is going to take the victory between those two? The battle refusing to end. It's Jai snapping Pasta Lover's win streak. It's now 9-1 for Pasta Lover. Jai now 5 in a row, and that's going to be a big swing in the momentum of this game at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get to see that there, but yeah, Pasta Lover getting knocked down by Jai, our previous #1. Yeah, maybe that's why Pasta Lover was doing so strong. Jai wasn't there to stop him last week, but yeah, Jai showing why he is the boss, you know, like coming through and yeah, devious. As we just saw as well, Kami with the Pandora's Bench, definitely going to help him get those units as they provide, Pandora's Bench rerolls the units that you do have. So that's going to be really helpful when it comes to getting those crew units, even though they're contested by Coco Slayer.
Definitely be a big help. We head back into the battlefield now. It's Retro versus Kami. Retro, not someone we've seen much of today. Just the one win in a row for Retro. Kami on something of a hot streak, not quite the streak that Jai is on. As obviously he has his own battles. Kami with the crew comp. It's a Juggernaut comp here for Retro, and immediately Kami's frontline looking particularly strong, but Retro not going down without a fight, but it will be Kami getting the win over Retro. That brings Kami up into 5th place. Retro knocked down as Steph back up into P3 with a win. Pasta Lover and Jai are still going on with their games. Jai's win streak is snapped. Pasta Lover also losing out as 3 of the bottom 4, including Newt Silver and Mini Legend, all get wins. So the leaderboard has all of a sudden become very, very compact. Pasta Lover still leads the way on 76 points. Last place, Coco Slayer on 30. So the entire field spread by just 46 points, which is fairly close for this point in the game.
Yeah, usually we have like a very defined winner and a very defined loser. So it's very nice to see a bit of, you know, a very tumultuous game, I suppose you could call it. But yeah, Pasta Lover, although not contested, unable to get that 2-star Zaya, so a little bit unfortunate there. But again, once he gets those units, potentially even some 3 stars, I'm not 100% sure what he's going for yet, but yeah, it's just lacking a little bit of damage. But Kami here with that Malphite and just very tanky, got lots of armor. Yeah, lots of frontline with lots of backline damage as well.
Definitely, and immediately we're seeing Kami looking particularly strong here against Pasta Lover. Pasta Lover, though, still in 3rd place, knocked down from his pedestal of the lead as we head back into the carousel. Steph and Jai separated by just 1 point at the top. Pasta Lover down to P3. Kami with a fairly good streak. I believe that's 4 in a row for them. They are in 4th, Retro in 5th, Coco Slayer 6th, but 2 losses for Mini Legend and for Newt Silver puts them on the brink of elimination. To see Newt Silver go out in 8th place in game #1 will be quite the shock as the series leader.
Yeah, Newt Silver not having the best run today, unfortunately. But hopefully she can make up for it in the next game. But she definitely has a lot of points to fall back on. So not the worst at the moment, but yeah.
Newt Silver, very, very consistent at the beginning of the season here. Has 1 less win, of course, than Jai, but being able to show up every week. Jai does have 1 absence from last week in week #4, plus those consistent podium results as given Newt Silver a big points cushion mathematically, is guaranteed to be in the lead after this game. It's game 2, where that becomes a bit more up in the air at the end of this week. But in the fight for second place, Steph, Giant, Pastelova, first, second, and third in this match. They are all within the top 5 as well, very close on points. Newt Silver and Coco Slayer now going at it. Newt Silver trying to hang on with her most recent loss, unable, as you see, 0 gold to her name. She's dumped all her econ just to try and stay alive here. Coco Slayer, though, looking particularly strong and getting the picks over Newt Silver. And I believe that will be the winner. So 1v1, can Newt Silver stay alive? She just about can. And Newt Silver back to winning ways. Mini Legend now down to last. Coco Slayer in 6th, and then a big gap up to Retro in 5th, as Steph and Kami now both on fire with 5 wins in a row. Jai losing a 2nd game in a row.
Yeah, a very scrummy execute from Akali there. Just getting that mouth fight while he was low, just making sure he couldn't get a little bit more damage or, you know, kill that Akali. But yeah, Akali with the Hand of Justice as well, with that a little bit of sustain, just pushed her through.
And now we see Newt Silver versus Kami. Kami on 5 wins in a row, looking to make it 6, but Newt Silver has her back against the wall. Needs to start winning games pronto if she is to make any inroads in the front of the leaderboard. But Kami's crew comp looks particularly strong at the moment. Both front lines looking very, very powerful. Picks on both sides. Newt Silver just about getting the picks as well, as the battle gravitates towards the bottom right. It's a 3-on-1 in favor of Newt Silver. She does get it done. She hangs on. Mini Legend with another loss now on just 2 points, 1 game away from elimination. A 2nd win in a row for Newt Silver. A 3rd loss in a row for Jai. Just extends the gap for Steph at the top of the leaderboard, and all of a sudden 2nd through 5th separated by just 6 points.
Yeah, Newt Silver again with the Supreme Cell, a comp that we haven't really seen much be played. But yeah, Akali, a very strong unit, just essentially a slightly better Katarina. Pretty much guaranteed to jump on that backline, and the more she casts, the more damage she does to them. So yeah, a very smart choice, as we saw last round, that Akali just jumped on that backline and didn't give them the chance to get that damage out. So yeah, as we saw just now as well from the PvE round, that prismatic orb that every player should have got. Definitely gonna give them a bunch of loot and gold, so hopefully even the people at the bottom have a chance to come back.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of econ now. We mentioned during her fight with Kami, I believe it was, Newt Silver had 0 gold to her name, had 50 just before we cut away, and we're seeing here this is Kami with 80 gold to their name as well. A 3-star pick as well for Retro, that's Vi, Ziggs, Senna as well for Coco Slayer and Newt Silver respectively. So everyone really starting to flesh out their comps now with the 3-star picks. It's Kami versus Jai. Kami just took her, first loss of the game so far. Jai on a 3-loss streak, so something we'll have to give. Someone will get their win streak back going here. With Giant trying to get the victory over Kami. Kami, though, looks particularly strong. Will get the victory over Jai. It's a 4th loss in a row for Jai. And you do not want to be loss streaking at this point in the game. Pastelova back up to 2nd after going as well as 5th, I believe it was. Kami up to 3rd. Jai down to 4th, as mentioned. Retro now down to 5th with another loss. Coco Slayer down to 6th. Newt Silver now down to just 8 points. 1 away from elimination. Mini Legend is now out. 8th place, just the 1 point in game 1 for Mini Legend.
Yeah, as you just saw here, Retro getting that 6 Juggernaut. Not 100% sure how the crit Mundo was working out, but it seems to not be doing horribly. But unfortunately, this Malphite is going to have lots of armor, so breaking through it is going to be a struggle. But I guess I just got told to shut the fuck up, because
George.
no, we're not family friendly.
Oh, okay.
I just got told to shut the freak up.
Okay.
Because he absolutely tore through that Malphite. Like, I believe that was Kami there that he just tore through, which
That
is
was convincing.
that was convincing, demanding. A very strong victory from Retro there, indeed. I think Kami just got, yeah, a 2-star Ziggs there, a 3-star Ziggs. I was gonna say that, but I think I got gaslighted by myself. Um, but yeah, with that Pandora's Bench and that level 8, definitely gonna be looking for that 3-star Twisted Fate, which would be absolutely amazing. Because if you didn't know, oh, that sounded really rude. If you
I
didn't
mean,
know,
I probably didn't know. I don't play this game. I probably didn't. So please enlighten me.
just a little FYI, if you get all of your crew units 3-star, you instantly win the game, and everyone just dies.
Oh.
And they place wherever they were, so they don't have a chance to come back. They don't have a chance to like do anything. I've only seen it a couple of times, but it would be amazing if we got to see it in this Hive Esports TFT tournament.
It definitely would be something to watch. Steph with another win. His win streak was snapped a little while ago, hence you do not see the fire around his avatar anymore. But as we head back into the carousel, he's retained the lead. 55 points. Pastelova back up to second on 43 points. Retro on 30 points. And then really 4 players very much on the brink. Kami on 16 points. Jai on 9 points. Newt Silver on 8. Coco Slayer on 7. So that's 3 players who are definitely within 1 game of elimination. 1 player who maybe has another game in them should they lose. And then the top 3 streaking away somewhat in Retro, Pastelova, and Steph. And with only 7 players left in the carousel, that obviously means there's slightly less contested units, but I think everyone is now fairly set on what they want to build. See Kami here, he's still looking at his crew comp. We mentioned that insta-win he might be trying to get, but definitely looks to be very well fleshed out at the minute, albeit only on 16 points and on a 2-game loss streak. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes for Kami. But just 5 seconds left now in this planning phase 5-5. Does anyone stand out to you as a particularly strong player at the minute?
Well, obviously Steph up in the top there, so it would be amazing to see him finally get that win after that very exhausting game last week. That backwards and forwards, rock, paper, scissors game, I think we called it. So yeah, but again, as we can see, Pastelova's still up there as well, so it's still in the competition. But yeah.
We see Kami now versus Coco Slayer. Coco Slayer with a particularly strong frontline just couldn't get it done. Could Kami as Newt Silver and Jai both drop out. So that's 1st and 2nd in the championship, out in 6th and 7th. So that is quite the shock and quite the swing in points. Kami holding on just 3 points. We mentioned how he was maybe had 1 more game in him should he lose, and he does, but he is now very much 1 game from elimination. Coco Slayer as well, though, did manage to get the win. Stays on 7 points. 7 points as well. Retro did lose his game. They're on just 14 points. Pastelova with a big gap up to 43 points. Steph as well, also 1. Is on 55, and we'll wait to see who comes through to face Retro. It will be Kami. So this will be a big match, 3rd versus 5th. It's the crew versus Juggernaut. We'll see which comp has been fleshed out the best. The front line now, very, very busy. Can barely tell what's going on, but it's picks for both sides. Retro's front line, though, I think just got the better of Kami. We'll see if Kami's backline has anything to say about it. I think he does. It's very, very close. It's now just a 2v1. And now it's a 1v1, and it's Retro gonna get done. Kami out, Coco Slayer out, 2 in 1. It's now just 3 players left. Steph on 55, Pastelova on 43, Retro on 14 points. Pastelova lighting the fire around their avatar. They're on 5 wins in a row, and all of a sudden, the field just got very, very thin.
Yeah, very well played from Retro there. And a little bit unfortunate for Kami. Just only 3 health points away from being top 4. So, yeah, although not much he could have done, and as that was only a 1 unit loss. But yeah, very unfortunate. Just got screwed over by that. That Luchador healing and stun. So, just unfortunate. But yeah, our top 3, Retro just about made it. But yeah, hoping to see Steph get his win yet again.
Definitely, it could be a game of firsts in Game 1, week number 5. Retro, I believe this is their first podium. Steph looking for his first win. Pastelova looking to potentially make a big points lead charge. This will be a big point stay for whoever manages to win this, whether it's Retro, Pastelova, or Steph, with Newtsilver and Jai only 6th and 7th, you know, sharing 5 wins between them in the first 8 games. To see them not even crack the top 5 is something of a shock. But we have now got Pastelova versus Steph. So this is first versus second. And this will be a pivotal match. Pastelova on a win streak. Steph with the points lead at the moment. We'll see who will take it here. Both comps immediately looking very, very strong picks on both sides. And it's going to be Pastelova getting it done against Steph. Retro is out. So it's now just a 1v1. Pastelova's on 6 wins in a row. Steph with a first loss here and is now fallen to second place in the standings. I hate to say it, could this potentially be another heartbreaking second place for Steph as he tries to get that first win?
You know what? I'm not going to curse him with streamer luck, so I'm not streamer unluck or whatever. But I got my fingers crossed. So yeah, would be nice, but yeah, unfortunately, Pastelova just a very strong Star Guardian comp at the moment, and having some of those units from Steph as well, just a little bit unfortunate.
Pastelova's definitely done their homework in between sort of week 3 and week 4. Week 4 where they obviously swept really almost unchallenged, really challenged only by Steph, who we now see fighting him now. Yeah, Pastelova just looking so strong these last couple of weeks. I do wonder if maybe he is an outsider for the points lead, but Steph with an even quicker victory over Pastelova now retakes the lead. Back and forth between these two, neither of them on any sort of win streak. Hard to say where the momentum really is between these two. 39 points for Steph, 29 for Pastelova now, so it's advantage Steph heading into the next fight, but Pastelova gets the win. The pendulum will swing the other way. Momentum continually shifting here in game 1 of week 5. It is now officially anyone's match.
Yeah, literally, like, Pastelova on that 6 win streak, killing Steph, but then Steph coming back and saying, "Nuh-uh." Like, I don't know what it is between these two, but goodness, they know how to put on a show, that's for sure. Just the backwards and forwards, it's admirable.
Neither of them going down without a fight. We are back in the battlefield once again, and you just see how many units are on the battlefield now here in phase 6-3 here, with very fleshed out front and back lines here. Again, important picks for both sides. It's now essentially just a backline fight as units continue to progress into the middle of the field, but Steph getting the picks. Now Pastelova gets the picks, all of a sudden sweeps through Steph's backline when he had the advantage. Now Pastelova gets the win and he's back in the lead of the game. Just 3 points ahead of Steph. We're back into the carousel. It is 1v1, mano-y-mano, and still anything to play for. Just a 1-win streak or a 1-loss streak, respectively, for Steph and Pastelova. Just 3 points between them, and all the units they could ever ask to choose from.
Mano, that's a new one. That's what that means.
It essentially just means man-to-man. I believe, I want to say it's Italian. Mano-y-mano.
Yeah.
Maybe comes, well, yeah, it's Italian. So maybe derives from Latin somewhere. I'm trying to sound smart. Latin, Italian.
No,
it's just, it's one of those words that's been sort
it
of
definitely works. It
ruined
definitely
by
works.
English. Sort of anglicized and butchered.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. As we saw a second ago, Steph getting that 3-star Udia might be enough to just push him through and survive Pastelova to dish out that little bit more damage.
And we've now, again, see this fight continue to range on in phase 6-5. 29 points for Pastelova, 26 for Steph. You don't know, it's the same comps, the same units, but those slight marginal changes could tell all between these two. And as you can see, it's a 2v2. Pastelova gets another crucial win. 2 in a row now for Pastelova. And that could be what does it for Pastelova. It is not over yet. Steph staying alive on just 11 points here. But now as Pastelova gets a streak going, he'll get the economy and the points advantage. Steph getting some economy as well. He has to essentially dump it all now, though, as you see he has just 5 gold to his name. Will not level up many experience points away from level 10, with only 5 gold. Pastelova as well, I believe, is level 9, and with that 18-point advantage, that may be all Pastelova needs here as the clock ticks down. as we are soon to enter the next phase of battle. The portal opens and out comes Steph for another fight, potentially the last fight of game number 1 of week 5. But we'll see if Steph can stay alive. We'll see if the changes that he has made to his comp can be the difference maker in keeping him alive in this game, or will it be a 3rd win in a row? It'd be the longest streak in series history. It will not be, at least for now.
Goodness.
Steph comes back, gets the win, and they are now still just 4 points apart. Pastelova on 15, Steph on 11. I think no matter who wins this, both of these players are going to be very proud of themselves for putting on the show that they have tonight.
Yeah, as they should be. Steph being a little devious boy there. Like, Pastelova 1 away from that 3-star Jinx, maybe able to get it in this PvE round. But as you know, that Jinx will give you the additional point on top of being a 3-star full cost in general. So very, very close.
It is impossible to tell. We saw in the chat, Steph saying it's so 50-50. I am inclined to agree. Both of them have been head and shoulders above everyone else in this first game. Retro, Coco and everyone else, they all dropped out many, many phases ago. It's these two that have stood headstrong above everybody else. They are still going at it, hammer and tongs, really nothing to separate them. But of course, something has to give when they both have this little amount of health left. And we are just a couple seconds away from heading back into the battlefield. Pastelova versus Steph in game 1 of week 5, potentially for one last time. It could be winner takes all here in this final match. We'll see who can get it done, who's made those final changes that could be the difference maker. Colors and numbers fly all over the screen as both players getting picks all over the shop. As soon the battlefield will be very, very depleted of characters. Pastelova beginning to overrun Steph. It's a 3v2, but Steph gets it done. And Steph wins game number 1. It's his first win in the series in a hard-fought match against Pastelova. Steph finally breaks the streak. It's his first win in the series. And that's going to be a feel-good story for many, many weeks to come.
Yep.
Steph finally with that first win. Pastelova denied that hat trick of wins in a row. Newt, Silver, and Jai just 6th and 7th. How do you possibly sum up a game like that?
That was absolutely insane. Very, very clutch from Steph at the last second as well. That was like a 1v1 of that backline and that front line. And oh my goodness, that healing from Wraith just carried him through that there. Just absolutely insane.
Steph with his first win. Pastelova with another podium finish as well. A big point stay for both of those as our front runners fall by the wayside a little bit in game number 1. We'll see if they have anything to come back with in game number 2. We'll have that for you here on twitch.tv/Hive Esports Games in around 5 or 10 minutes. But for now, our production crew are going to take a little break and we'll be back very shortly. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to twitch.tv/Hive Esports games for week 5 of the Hive Esports Teamfight Tactics series. We've taken our little 5-minute recess. We have just concluded game number 1 that saw Steph take his first ever win in the series finally after many close attempts. Pastelova denied a 3-game win streak, which would have put him tied with Jaya for the most wins in the series so far and the longest streak of wins in the series. Newt Silver and Jai first and second in points, finishing just 6th and 7th, means a big point swing for the chasing pack, has tightened things up a lot in the leaderboard, something we'll look at the beginning of week 6. But for now, after a little chat, we'll be in with game number 2 shortly. But George, after game number 1, is there anyone you're looking at as a potential frontrunner in game number 2?
Oh, well, obviously excited to see more of Steph. Again, like a very weird player in this competition. Inconsistent, I guess I would say. Either doing really good or not so great. But it's good to see him finally, getting up there. But finally getting that redemption from last week, from only just missing that first place. But yeah, Pastelova still not to be disregarded. Again, come out from absolutely nowhere, but making waves.
Making waves is how I was about to put it as well. Pastelova and Steph have definitely come to the forefront in the last couple of weeks as very strong contenders. Newt Silver and Jai, I think, are going to be looking over their shoulders. They've been the perennial frontrunners really since week number 1, with Jai and Newt Silver both sweeping their own respective weeks, and then Pastelova came and swept week number 4, and potentially could we see a 4th sweep in a row from a 4th different player? Do we see potentially a Steph sweep in week 5? It's not out of the question at all, especially how tenacious and determined he has seemed. He got knocked down 2-3 times in his fight with Pastelova when it was eventually just those two, and then he did pull through, get that final victory. It was just a 1v1 between their final units. It was oh so close, but it, it's the sort of thing that we are coming accustomed to really in this series. The first few weeks we weren't really seeing a lot of close fighting as such, but the last 2 games, for game 2 last week and game 1 this week, have been absolutely incredible for the fights between first and second, standing head and shoulders above everybody else. We've got just a couple minutes. I'm just thinking now, did we see anyone get those bonus points that we mentioned at the top of the show? I don't think we did. They're just that way.
Over here, yep. I know lefts and rights. So obviously we saw that Star Guardian was very close to that Jinx 3-star, but Steph was smart and he knew to hold that Jinx. Otherwise, if Pastelova had gotten that 3-star Jinx, then Steph wouldn't have been able to have cleared Pastelova. But yeah, very smart. But no bonus points for this game, but hopefully in the next game we will see some.
Definitely. It makes the maths a little harder behind the scenes, but it makes the fight for the title all the more interesting. There's your reminder on the left-hand side of the screen of exactly what these guys are going to be rewarded for. As we now jump into game number 2, the same 8 players, the same fight for victory, but we will see if the winners are the same. It will be if Steph can win this game, it would be the 4th different sweep from a 4th different player, as we've mentioned. Just proving how tight this competition would be. I think one of our initial fears when we came in is that maybe we'd have 2, maybe 3 players who were just more experienced than everybody else, and they would sort of clear off into the distance. And for a while, you think Jai and Newt Silver might be those 2 or 3 players. But we've seen Pastelova sweep last week, Steph with an amazing victory this week. Other players as well coming to the forefront, getting 2nd places, 3rd places. Meanwhile, the front runners not guaranteed to finish well. Newt Silver and Jai were just 6th and 7th last game, so it really is anyone's game throughout this entire competition. So I think those fears can very much be put to bed. A very competitive field of players we have here with no one to be scoffed at, really. So we'll see if the likes of Pastelova and Steph can come to the forefront once again.
Excuse me, hopefully, it's nice to see that variety, like you mentioned. It's not, as nice as it is when someone is doing well, it's good to see, like, everyone doing well, keeps it close, keeps it engaging. And speaking of engagement, we've got that beach ball. I swear that might be a staple of our tournament at this point, because this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've gotten it.
We know our beach balls here, don't we?
Yeah, this is so random. This is random chance as well, and to like get it every stream, that's crazy.
I mean, we said it in the first ever week, didn't we? When we told everyone what Hive was all about. It's
True,
silliness and
true,
fun. For
true.
as much as we are competitive, we all want to win. We're just playing with beach balls while we play
Yeah,
TFT.
yeah, yeah.
It's all in good fun.
We like that silly fun, but you know, we're a community. We're like, you know, we're just having the time of our lives, okay? Like, just chilling, just chilling.
Definitely, we've seen a couple gold augment picks now for our players, focusing on Mini Legend, really looking to bounce back from a couple, we'll say suboptimal results in his first 3 games, 7th, 8th, and then 8th again, leaves him on just 4 points in, that would be 13th place now with Kami's debut. Ty now in 14th, yet to make an appearance, so Mini Legend really not getting off to the start that he would have wanted. And now with our first PvP fights of game number 2 here in week 5, Mini Legend versus Jaya. We'll see if either of these two can get off to a winning start here. Jaya looking particularly strong, does get a couple picks over Mini Legend. It's now a 2v1, make that a 3v1 as Jaya's frontline comes back in, and that is a smooth, easy victory for Jaya there. Pasta Lover and Coco Slayer still going at it in their own respective fights. Steph and Jaya, as well as Newt Silver, getting their own wins. Coco Slayer does beat Pasta Lover, meaning after the first round of PvP, Coco Slayer, Steph, Jaya, and Newt Silver on 100 points. Pasta Lover, Mini Legend, Kami, and Retro losing their own respective fights. Of course, too early to tell by a long way just who is the strongest yet, but hopefully we'll see a couple streaks, both win and loss, for the sake of everyone's econ and trying to flesh out their comps as much as they need to begin to get going. It's back into the planning phase once more. I think we're seeing a Juggernaut comp here, early doors here for Jai. I believe we've seen him use that before. Very versatile player though, mind you. He's used many different comps in this series so far.
Yeah, although Jai tends to gravitate to that Soul Fighter, he has played a few new quirky comps, but yeah, we saw this comp last game with Retro. I believe the augment's called Throw the Chair, but I might be lying there. Oh, I did not. I just spat bars. Holy. But yeah, yeah, a reroll Mundo comp. Very exciting to see. Could either be great or not so great.
So that was a very close game there between Coco Slayer and Jai, and that won't be what Jai needs, as that is a win and then a loss, so not great for his economy. Coco Slayer and Steph now the only players with 2 wins on the bounce. Mini Legend does get his first win of the game, as well as for Retro. Kami on a second loss as well, I believe Pasta Lover as well. So those 4 players, top 2 and bottom 2, will have the best econ at the minute in terms of their streaks. Jai, Newt Silver, Mini Legend and Retro both going 1 and 1 as they sit in the middle of the leaderboard, heading back into phase 2-3. It's going to be Newt Silver versus Coco Slayer on your screens next. Coco Slayer yet to get their first win in the series, but they've come close a handful of times as they sit in the middle of the championship. Newt Silver still the points leader, although her lead has been very much diminished after only a P6 finish in game number 1. We'll see if she can break that streak before it starts here. But it's a 3v1 in favor of Coco Slayer. Newt Silver with a second loss in a row. Coco Slayer now 3 wins in a row. Same for Steph. Jai back to winning ways, as well as Retro, Mini Legend, and Newt Silver both with their second losses. Pasta Lover and Kami on 3 losses in a row, heading back into the carousel for the first time.
Yeah, I would just like to take a moment to appreciate Newt Silver and that very festive looking Poro.
I was gonna say, very Christmassy. Getting ahead of it.
Yeah. Yeah, who doesn't love Christmas, first of all? Like, I would love if everyone had a Christmas chibi tactician. That'd be adorable. But yeah, Newt Silver, after the not-so-great game last game, going back to a more comfortable comp for her. I think we've seen her go that, like, Malzahar, Prodigy heavyweight comp a few times. So, yeah, wishing her luck this game.
Definitely, Newt Silver looking for a big bounce back after her points lead was very much bitten into there by the chasing pack. with only a 6th place finish, as we've mentioned in game number 1. Back into the planning phase, though. Hopefully everyone are getting the units that they need. Hopefully with the bonus points encouraging a variety of comps, we're hoping that not too many units are contested, and that gives us just the more entertaining fights like we saw game 1, Pasta Lover and with Steph. Speaking of Pasta Lover, we now focus on Kami taking on Pasta Lover here. Kami and Pasta Lover 7th and 8th, both on a free loss streak, so something has to give. Almost both of them want to lose this game for the sake of their economy, such as the weird nature of TFT. A 3v3 now, 3v2, Kami getting a couple picks there with a big emphasis on the backline, really, for both of these. Only 1 or 2 units going towards the front line early doors here, but Kami, with a big unit advantage at the end of the game, gets his first win. Mini Legend and Pasta Lover losing out there, as well as Retro and Coco Slayer, means now Steph is the only player remaining undefeated here, 4-0, and so finds himself unchallenged, unparalleled at the top of the leaderboard. Jai in 2nd place, Coco Slayer in 3rd, Retro and Newt Silver all above 90 points, and then Kami, Mini Legend and Pasta Lover separated by just 3 points at the bottom.
Yeah, what a diva-licious diva. Steph up in the top there. Hopefully, how exciting would it be if you just didn't lose this game? I've cursed that now, haven't I? Sorry, Steph.
Commentator curse.
I mean, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen,
guys.
of course.
That could never happen. Like,
there's no way we see 4 different sweeps by 4 different players 4 weeks in a row.
That would be absurd. That would be too crazy.
It would be too crazy. It's not possible.
No. I don't think it's possible either. I hope no one proves me wrong.
Yeah, no. But Newt Silver getting a very convincing win there over Retro Steph. 5 in a row. The fire lights around his avatar as well. Giant, Coco Slayer and Newt Silver, they are now the top 4. They all won their games, so the leaderboard's still very close. Retro, Kami, Mini Legend and Pasta Lover now the bottom 4 here, all of whom lost their most recent game in phase number 2-7. So immediately we're starting to see just who is the strongest in the early game. Of course, who's strongest in the early game does not necessarily dictate who's the strongest in the mid and late game, as we've seen many times. We're back into PvE simply for some additional loot and goodies for our players. You see those little question mark balls, as well as our little friendly beach ball as well, accompanying everyone in their adventures. Everyone routinely getting it done in their own PvE fights. As your little reminder, Steph on 5 wins in a row, very much on fire after that first game. The momentum is very much with him. He's been doing his homework in between week 4 and week 5. Newt Silver, I believe, the first one to level up to level 6, so putting her econ into those additional units. Now focusing on Pasta Lover, who is going for the crew, who is a comp we've mentioned a lot with our debutante Kami.
Yeah, naturally, Kami going the crew as well. Pasta Lover definitely being cheeky and trying to contest it, but unfortunately Kami already on that 3-star Sivir, but Pasta Lover with a 1-star Sivir, and yeah, falling a little bit behind, so potentially a stronger game from Kami here. Gonna get that econ from hopefully winning early game, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Look at Pasta Lover and Coco Slayer. I was going to mention that 3-star Sivir for Kami. That's very early. It's only phase 3-1 to be getting a 3-star pick like that. I do wonder if that potentially opens the door for a prismatic trait for that Sivir. Potentially, and those 2 points could be ever crucial, especially for someone who's just joined the league, of course. Coco Slayer getting the win over Pasta Lover puts Pasta Lover now on a 6th consecutive loss. Steph on a 6th consecutive win, and so 31 points separates first 2 last. Now some silver augment picks here. We're looking at Pasta Lover as teaming up 1, find your center, and late game specialist. We'll see 2 rerolls. So not a fan of the initial choices in front of him for Pasta Lover.
I believe that was missed connections. You just get 1 of every 1 cost character, which is going to be good considering that 2 of the crew members are 1 costs. So gonna get that 2-star Sivir and gonna get another 2-star Malphite, pushing him a little bit closer to those 3 stars that they need. Unfortunate for Kami, but very fortunate for Pasta Lover.
definitely helps Pastelova. Of course, when these units are contested, you can't get them. You're going to fall very, very far behind those people going for the same comps as you. We'll see how that augment helps Pastelova with that additional firepower. Newt Silver currently sits in 4th in the leaderboard right now. Immediately, the front line starting to get that little bit more busy. Back line still a bit more derelict as we run at the moment. Everyone going a bit more for their damage output, and immediately Newt Silver looking particularly strong, does get those critical picks, and Newt Silver is going to fly by Pastelova, who sits now down in last. Kami as well losing out, so the crew comps not doing amazing early doors here in 7th and in 8th. Mini Legend gets the win, as does Retro. Jai now up to a 5th win in a row as Steph loses out, so Jai taking the lead here as we head back into the planning phase. Jai now the momentum player at the minute, as Steph has his win streak snapped.
Yeah, unfortunate for Steph. My bad. Cursed him. Poor guy. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Unlucky.
I didn't mean to. It's just how it works here. But yeah, as we saw earlier, Jai with that champion augment. Oh wow, it's only a 1-star as well. But getting that early set and that 6 Juggernaut just going to be so tanky without having those items and star levels. But yeah, having that damage with that Juggernaut Mundo, especially with the throw the chair augment. Yeah, a little bit more damage in the front line, but also it bounces and does damage into the back line as well. So Kami is selling all of his units. Oh, never mind, he has damage, I'm pretty sure it's called. It sells all the units that you have and puts it into a really fat dummy that you can see in the middle there. It's just not dying. Yeah, it could be good for some frontline, but especially as he had those 3-star units in the beginning of the game, but he does forfeit that crew, so hopefully he has another plan up his sleeve.
Definitely, we know Kami very, very strong with the crew comp. Does lose out though to Jai, now on 6 wins in a row. Back into the carousel. We'll see what Kami chooses to do now, whether he chooses to maybe divert from the crew comp, go a bit outside his comfort zone, whether he sticks with the crew comp host to get those units back, although I don't think I would bank on it personally. But as we head into the carousel, Jai does lead the way. Steph in 2nd. Newt Silver also on a 5-game win streak in 3rd place. So Jai and Newt Silver back towards the front. A bit more what we're used to than we saw in game number 1. Coco Slayer a bit of a ways back in 4th. Retro in 5th. Mini Legend 6th. And then a big gap back to Kami and Pastelova, who both sit in last on just 50 points. We see Malzahar, Zaya, Ziggs being picked as well for some of our players. They continue to flash up their comps. Coco Slayer up to level 6, but those are all only 2-star picks as well. You see there's Shen for Pastelova. All still only 2-star picks, no 3-stars yet, apart from that Sivir that we saw from Kami early game. But as we saw with that Dummerfight augment pick, that means that Sivir was sold. So he no longer has that in his repertoire. So that advantage that Kami had somewhat gone now, but hopefully they have a backup plan. Newt Silver now versus Steph is what's on the card. 2nd versus 3rd. Steph trying to snap Newt Silver's win streak as the fire has lit around Newt Silver. She's on 5 wins in a row, and her frontline looks particularly strong at the minute. Many of Steph's units down to low health, and Newt Silver does get that 1 pick, gets another pick. Steph not quite getting the healing that he needs, and that is going to be all she wrote for Newt Silver up to 2nd place. We'll see if Jai can win his game as well, as Kami does fall down to last place. Pastelova does win. Jai does get that 7th straight win. Mini Legend down to 6th. Retro down to 5th. Steph down to 3rd. As Jai and Newt Silver, as it is in the points at the minute, 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, a very aura-heavy Darius there. As you can see, I believe that's the power-up weights. Not 100% familiar as to what that does, but it seems to be doing a lot. But yeah, again, Newt Silver going back to those comfort comps that she knows and plays well. So yeah, unfortunate for the rest of the competition, but very strong from Newt Silver.
Very, very strong from Newt Silver indeed. Now having a look at Kami. See now a Battle Academia comp, so they have diverted from the crew. Using that Dummerfight augment. We'll see if that comes good for Kami. I think this can see a little bit outside his comfort zone. We'll have to see how that proves Pixel for Kami. See that dummy in the middle of the battlefield. Health depleting very, very slowly, but eventually Retro will get that gun killed. But that does put Retro at somewhat of a disadvantage in the front line, but he's able to overcome that and does get the win over Kami, who now sits on just 31 points. This has not been a great game 2 for Kami after a decent debut game. Coco Slayer, Mini Legend also losing out. Jai with the win streak snapped as well. That was 7 wins in a row now gone, as Newt Silver now on 7 wins in a row. Steph as well winning brings him a little closer to Newt Silver and Jai. That top 3 very much breaking away from everybody else, with Retro and Coco Slayer close together as well in 4th and 5th. Kami, unfortunately, just falling behind at the minute with no answer for anyone. I don't think selling that 3-star Sivir has come as good as I think he's wanted. At the moment, we head back into PvE.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like he's just rolling without purpose. He didn't really have much of an econ, but the not capitalizing on the health that that dummy has, unfortunately playing it a little bit too slow at the moment. But maybe that's his plan. Maybe it's get a loss streak and then, boo, surprise us in the late game. Freddy Fazbear us. Like, sorry, I don't know why I bought a Freddy Fazbear.
With the Fazbear.
No, we're not Halloween anymore. Freddy Fazbear coming out on December 5th, so maybe it'd be Christmassy, but can you imagine? It's like Die Hard. Freddy Fazbear becomes a classic Christmas movie.
Oh my god. William Afton is John McClane.
Oh my god.
Instead of Nakatomi Plaza, it's Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.
I need that.
I'd buy tickets to that.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, I will be buying tickets for Freddy Fazbear December 5th. If anyone wants to come with me, just let me know. Like,
Oh, is that movie been confirmed now?
Yeah.
Oh.
5 Nights at Freddy's 2 is coming out this in a few weeks, December 5th.
I'm gonna have to go see that, because I went to go see the first one.
Yeah. I need to go see that again. Like, guys, come on! Like, Hive, TFT Esports, Freddy Fazbear cinema trip. Like,
Definitely.
who's trying
With
to
some great
fund
content.
that?
Vlog
That is
it
so
or
good.
something.
Vlogging. Who wants to see a
We
Hive
all go in
Esports?
bee costumes.
Oh my god, bee costumes to the animatronic bees. That's us.
Yes. There we go.
So really big tangent there. Not really sure what just happened.
All while
but
that was going on, we've got some gold augment picks. Jai has once again now on a 2-loss streak. Kami has snapped his loss streak. Mini Legend up to level 7 has lost his most recent game. Coco Slayer passed the lover. Bit of a far cry from what they were achieving before. They sit 5th and 6th for the minute. Retro just 1 point ahead of them, but still that top 3 breaking away. Newt Silver, Steph, and Jai 25 points ahead of Retro, but only 13 points between 1st and 3rd. Another 2-star pick for Jai. We did see a 3-star Malphite for, I want to say, Coco Slayer? I think is the other one going for a crew comp, so I think he's someone to keep an eye on. As a 3-star Dr. Mundo pick now for Jai. So the 3-stars becoming more and more common now, we'll see. As Jai does enter the battlefield to fight Coco Slayer, so I think this is going to be 2 3-star units coming up against each other. We'll see who's fleshed out their comp the best. Jai on something of a loss streak, Coco Slayer as well on a loss streak, so both of these guys trying to get some momentum back in this mid-game here. Jai looking particularly strong in the front line. Coco Slayer has no answer, and it will be the win for Coco Slayer and for Steph, as well as Kami and Mini Legend also lose out. Newt Silver with a 9th straight win. Means that the top 4, Newt Silver, Steph, and Jai, as well as Pasta Lover, all took their wins. Retro, Coco Slayer, Mini Legend, and Kami all lost. And now Kami and Mini Legend are the first players to sort of have their backs against the wall now in this second and final game of the evening.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but somewhat of a quick game at the moment. Yeah, with the majority of the, well, players being on less than 50 health, so... But yeah, Newt Silver absolutely storming this round, definitely getting justice from the round before, and yeah, Steph staying strong and Jai as well, but Pastelava not doing as strong as recent games.
Definitely. Now we see Steph versus Kami. Kami has to win here. to have any sort of comfortable cushion to fall back on. Already down to just 18 points, but Steph looks just so strong at this point in the game. It's 4 in a row. Kami down to just 4 points. Mini Legend down to just 10. Pasta now lights that fire, is on 5 wins in a row. Steph and Jai all winning as well. We'll take a quick round up here. Newt Silver does lead the way. Steph in second place, Jai in third, with a big gap back to Pasta Lover, who finds himself all on his own. 22 points back to Coco Slayer in fifth, Retro in sixth, and then Mini Legend on 10 points, Kami on just 4. Those are the two players that really are just about one game from potential elimination here. And we head back into the carousel. Newt Silver enters to get her final unit here. You think anyone potentially missed out on contested units though? Or do you think everyone potentially just got what they needed there?
Well, I'd like to think everyone got what they needed, but you know,
Hard to tell a little bit.
Didn't.
Be funny if they didn't.
Yeah, we want them to struggle here on Hive Esports.
If
Yeah.
it's a struggle, it's more entertaining, to be fair.
There's more to talk about, you know. A bit of gossip.
Mm.
But yeah, Pasta Lover getting that 3-star Ziggs. I know Pasta Lover was going for the crew at the start of the game, but Kami was also going for it. But due to that demo fight, sacrificing all of his units, Pasta Lover just able to get everything instead. So yeah, very strong at the moment, but not the best econ. However, very close to level 7. So yeah, it would again be great if we got to see that 3-star Twisted Fate just to end the game instantly.
It would definitely be something to see. We'll make for some good clips, that much is true.
Yep.
Pasta Lover though, absolutely walking all over Steph here in this game, and that's going to snap Steph's win streak, and that's going to bring Pasta Lovers up to 6. Newt Silver and Jai getting the wins in their own games, so that extends the lead for those two, as Pasta Lover brings himself just slightly closer. But Mini Legend is now out of the game. Kami held on in his game. He's still on 4 points, but Mini Legend now out. So first 4 results for Mini Legend are unfortunately 7th, 8th, 8th, and then 8th again. So we'll have to wait till week 6 for a potential bounce back from Mini Legend. Kami on just 4 points still. Retro as well. And Coco Slayer as well on just 17 points, maybe 1 or 2 games away from elimination. So we could potentially be thinning the herd very, very quickly here. And sure enough, it's 5th versus 6th going up against each other here. Coco Slayer versus Retro. Coco Slayer on 5 losses in a row. Has to snap that streak and fast if he is to stay alive in this game and try and get another decent finish to put himself closer towards that the upper echelons of the leaderboard, where points are still oh so close. Newt Silver though beaten by Pasta Lover, as Pasta Lover's win streak now continues to extend. Retro and Kami both losing. They're now on just 5 and 4 points respectively, and there you go. Kami, there is the confirmation, is out in just 7th place. Retro 1 away from elimination on just 5. Coco Slayer staying alive on 17. And Pasta Lover now looking very, very strong on what I believe is 8 wins in a row. And you look at the top 3, Newt Silver on 78, Jai on 77, and Steph on 73. It is still oh so close at the top. We could see a repeat of game number 1 here.
Again, it's very split 50-50 at the moment. The top 4 are doing very well, but the bottom 4 aren't. But Pasta Lover has been able to maintain those 50 health points, so not dipping below that yet. But yeah, Kami and Mini Legend out of this round. Unfortunately, oh, never mind. Newt Silver just getting those 3-star units. Yeah, very close to that 3-star Malzahar, and somewhat close to that Darius, just missing 3, but 1 on that Malzahar. Definitely going to be doing lots more damage and surviving a little bit longer when she gets those.
Yeah. We're now going to see if that 3-star pick can come good for Newt Silver, as we see her take on Retro, who sits in 6th, just 1 game away from elimination. Newt Silver's front line will have been buffed up a little bit by that most recent 3-star grab, but Retro is no slouch. Retro does get 1 pick in the middle of the battlefield, does get a 2nd pick. A convincing victory for Retro. Very impressive indeed, and that keeps him alive. Coco Slayer down to just 3 points with a loss against Pastelava. Giant and Newt Silver both losing. Steph now in the lead. Could this be a fourth different sweep in 4 weeks? You don't quite know just yet. Jai, the first player to reach level 8, with 2 players now on the teetering edge of elimination with a big gap up to the top 4. I think now Retro and Coco Slayer are just looking to try and get 5th place. I don't think their minds are really set on the top 4 at the minute unless they can really pull something magical out. But we are going to head back into the battlefield again. We are focused on Retro, who's 1 game away from elimination. He's going to come up against Pasta Lover here, who is on 50 points and has the longest win streak at the moment. Retro just took down Newt Silver, and quite convincingly. So he is looking very, very strong at this moment, but of course has only got 5 health points to rely on. Pasta Lover with the longest streak looks particularly strong at this moment. Retro's backline doing the business here. Pasta Lover's backline now being brought into the fray. It's a 3v1, but Retro's going to get it done here, and he might just not be out of it yet. Coco Slayer also winning to stay alive. Newt Silver takes the lead as Seth, Giant, and Pasta Lover all lose. Another Malzahar pick for Newt Silver. Trying to get that 3-star Malzahar, and there you see it. Katarina as well there for Giant. We saw Katarina be an exceptionally strong unit last week for Pasta Lover as he swept week 4. So potentially there's another 3-star here for Giant as well. So continuing to buff up his team. But all of a sudden, the complexion of this game has changed massively. 3 of the top 4 have all just lost, and they keep trading for the lead.
Yeah, a very clutch Jinx rocket from Retro in that last game. Getting that kill on whomever he was fighting to then launch that rocket at the Sivir and the Ziggs, the main damage dealers of this comp. Yeah, very unfortunate for Pasta Lover, but gonna take out Steph here, potentially.
Looking very, very strong is Pasta Lover. It's a 4v1.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Steph with a massive couple of picks there. And he is going to get it done against Pasta Lover. That unit just tore through Pasta Lover's entire team. Retro is out of the game, though, as Newt Silver, Steph, and Jai all win. They all lost their last game. Now they're all winning again, as now just 4 players remain. Coco Slayer is also out. That's 2 eliminations at once, and so it remains Newt Silver on 62 points, Steph on 60, Jai on 49, Pasta Lover on 27. So what was a big gulf in quality from one end of the leaderboard to the other, now with half the leaderboard gone, it's very quickly tightened up. Pasta Lover probably looking the strongest at the moment, has only just had that win streak snapped, of course, now on 2 losses in a row. But as you see, no one has that fire around the avatar. No one has a particularly long win streak going. Steph up to level 9, the first player to do so. So we see where he's investing his econ with this executioner comp he's got going on as well. No prismatic traits, though, that we have seen as yet. So still no bonus points have been given up. They're proving hard to get for these players, but I think they're going to prove all pivotal if someone can. Steph versus Jai now. This is 2nd versus 3rd. And we'll see who can come out on top. We saw Steph's front line, the damage up. He is able to put it to multiple units at once, come in clutch in that 4v1 against Pasta Lover. And he continues to get the picks against Jai, but Jai is still looking particularly strong. He's going to get it done, though. Giant loses out, as does Pasta Lover, and that just bridges the gap between the bottom 2 and the top 2. Newt Silver and Steph both winning. Giant and Pasta Lover both losing, and now Pasta Lover somewhat with his back against the wall on just 16 points.
Yeah, Steph, like, I haven't, like, goodness, that Akali popping off. Like, I think the kids will refer to it as aura. Yeah, that Akali just... I'm struggling here. That Akali 1v4, but then just
Dropping
executing.
bodies.
Yeah, executing 3 people at once. Like, wow, aura.
Absolutely. Aura 999 from Steph's Akali there. And we'll see if that continues in his fight against Newt Silver. So this is 1st versus 2nd. This will be a pivotal match as Jai and Pasta Lover go at it off screen here. Steph getting the picks, but Newt Silver does just about get it done. So that's going to be a big win for Newt Silver. Just pushes her ahead of Steph and the rest of the field. Jai losing to Pastelova as well. So that puts both of them very close together. The fight for third very much on now, seeing two distinct fights for position, one for third, one for first, of course. But back into the planning phase, Newt Silver does lead on 62 points, 14 points back to Steph, and then half the points back to Giant, and then 8 points back to Pastelova on just 16, who's probably 2 games away from elimination here. But heading back into the PvE for some loot, for some goods. Who do you think stands out at the minute of these final 4 remaining players?
Well, Jai seems to be going steady at the moment. Although unfortunately, I'm not sure how long this comp will be able to hold on for. He needs that level 9 for that 4 Lucador, but won't be particularly game-changing, unfortunately. But yeah, Steph, unfortunately, a little bit countered by Newts over there. Akali can dodge damage from enemy units, but Malzahar, with that point-and-click damage over time, just keeps getting her, and without any sustain, like a Hand of Justice or a Bloodthirster, she just can't sustain herself. But yeah, she does do damage though, which is still great.
Still doing well on the damage side of things. Now have Steph versus Pastelova. Pastelova somewhat with his back against the wall, but Steph has obviously just come off the back of a loss. Pastelova off the back of a win. Newt Silver, though, does defeat Giant quite convincingly so. Pastelova does defeat Steph as well. And now Newt Silver just streaks further and further into the lead on 62 points with, I believe that's a 5th win in a row. Now Jai on the brink of elimination on just 9 points. This has not been the week he's been looking for. 7th and potentially only 4th will not be the points night he needs in his pursuit of the championship lead. Of course, that absence in week number 4 gave Newt Silver a massive points buffer, and if he wants to capitalize on Newt Silver not getting the best result in game number 1, he needs to start winning games, and pronto. And that hopefully starts with his fight against Steph here. That Juggernaut has not been as strong as he potentially would have hoped here in his fight. Now as you've got Steph and then Newt Silver and Pastelova off screen as well. We'll see if Newt Silver can keep up that fiery hot win streak here. Both sides getting picked left, right and center. The units quickly depleting, but it looks to be coming the way of Jai now. It's a 3v2, but Steph's backline looks very, very strong at the minute, but just a little bit overwhelmed there by Jai. Does get the win over Steph. Pastelova as well beats Newt Silver, and that brings everything just a little bit closer together with Newt Silver's win streak snapped, but she still retains the lead by 23 points over Steph, and then 16 points for Pastelova, 9 for Jai. No one out of it just yet, as the bottom 2 have both won their games over the top 2.
Yeah, a very tumultuous game indeed. Steph looking for those 3-star forecasts, but just doesn't have the economy to look for them properly. But, you know, level 9, 3 away from that Javelin, 3 away from that Rise. But unfortunately, I believe Pastelova is going for that Rise as well. So Steph might not be able to get it. But yeah, while this comp is great, the Akali just lacks a little bit of sustain.
Definitely doesn't have the survivability that I think he is looking for at this moment. Now Steph versus Newt Silver. Newt Silver still leading the way in this game, so something has to give between these two, as both of them have just come off the back of a loss. Both of them trying to get back to winning ways. Steph, pardon me, on 3 losses in a row. It may well be a 4th, a dominant victory for Newt Silver, and Steph now on just 4 points on the brink of defeat. Jai is out of the game now. Just 4th place for Jai alongside the 7th. It has not been the week he has been looking for, as Pastelova gets it done over Jai now. Steph just on the brink of defeat here in 3rd place. Pastelova has a little bit of breathing room on 16 points. Newt Silver holds all the cards on 44 points in the lead, potentially looking for a 3rd win in the series. It would put her level on wins with Giant and would most definitely extend her points lead just a little bit to undo a lot of the damage done from that measly 6th place finish in game number 1. We're heading back into the planning phase for just one final time. I'm going to put you on the spot here a bit, George. of
Yep.
these 3 remaining players, who do you think is going to get it?
Ooh, well,
Because it is so
to
close.
be honest, Newt Silver, or they could both be against Newt Silver at the moment, which is not true. But yeah, they could have both gone against Newt Silver and just lost right there and then.
This is true.
But Newt Silver going against one of their clones at the moment. Past 11 versus Steph, so one of them will lose. No matter who wins, one of them will be out of this round.
Definitely. So we'll see if Steph can get past the lover. Steph has to win to even have the faintest chance of staying alive, and that he does. Past the lover does lose out on just 2 points. Newt Silver does get the win. They are both still alive though on one, just 2 points for Past the lover, 4 points for Steph, 44 for Newt Silver. Newt Silver must be feeling very comfortable at the minute, knowing now that her comp is strong enough to maintain that advantage. And wow, it's all coming up Newt Silver at the moment with mere seconds to play here. Potentially just one more round in it. They could both go up against Newt Silver again and potentially put a big dent in her points lead if they both manage to hold on. All 3 of them, it's sort of a rock, paper, scissors again. All 3 of them are strong enough to win their own respective games. It's just a matter of having that points buffer should you lose. And now our cameras, they focus on Newt Silver versus Steph. We'll see which frontline can get the picks early on, because that may dictate how this potentially final fight may go. We're going to keep our eye on the right-hand side as well to see how Pastelover is doing on just 2 points. Can he stay alive in this final game here? And it's going to be eventually Newt Silver getting the picks that she needed to get the early momentum over Steph, and Steph is out of the game. Pastelover did win his game. He is still alive here. First and third, though, for Steph. Not a bad point stay at all. That will be 14 points for him. That should propel him quite a ways up the leaderboard. Pastelover in second place now. At the very least, will have been a decent day for him. It may be 2 second places, but not out of it just yet. But one more win will do it here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Steph, Pastelover just had those rises that he needed, but he was 2 away. So yeah, very unfortunate indeed. But yeah, deja vu yet again. Pastelover versus Newt Silver in a very, very close, I believe Pasta just beat Newt Silver, so this could be going on for a little while longer.
It most definitely could. Everyone, both of Newt Silver and Pastelover look particularly strong just in their most recent PvE fights. They absolutely tore through their own enemies there, and they got the loots and goodies that hopefully they needed. But we're going to jump back into the battlefield. It is phase 7-1. Out comes Pastelover from the portal. This could well be our final fight of week 5 here. Newt Silver versus Pastelover. Pastelover is up 1 level on Newt Silver, but he is 1 game away from elimination on just 2 points. We'll see what these guys' front lines can do here. Immediately, Pastelover looking very, very strong here. The backline doing all the damage here, overwhelming Newt Silver. We'll see if Newt Silver has any last resort damage. She does not, and that is a massive win for Pastelover to potentially upset the championship leader here. Pastelover staying alive on just 2 points, and now Newt Silver's points are halved. That cushion just got a lot less comfortable. Newt Silver has to go back to the drawing board if she is to wrap this game up.
Yeah, like, she just took 21 damage, I believe, so very, very close from, you know, death. Yeah, just even if she loses 1 more unit, this could be the end of this round, but we could have one of those games where it is very, very close, and then on the last round, it just clicks.
It may well click. Newt Silver and Pastelover both hoping that their comps click soon enough. Maybe Pastelover has already unlocked that secret changes. He looked very, very strong against Newt Silver. Newt Silver though looking a little bit stronger this time, but again, Pastelover's backline just looks so, so strong with that range damage, and it is going to be 2 points apiece now for Newt Silver and Pastelover. No matter what happens, this will be the last fight. Both of them with their backs against the wall here. Nothing to separate them on just 2 points each.
Yeah, that is... Wow. Again, if Nutsova had just lost one more unit or Pastelov had just taken one more unit, that would have been very unfortunate loss. But yeah, Nutsova here with a little bit more frontline than she had last round. Hopefully that'll be enough for Malzahar to get that damage off on that backline and take them out before Pastelova takes them out instead.
The backline is definitely where Pastelova has had his strengths. That backline has simply torn through Nutsova at the first time of asking. And again, it looks like the damage output from Pastelova looks particularly strong, but Nutsova looking stronger all the time here. She's getting one pick, she's getting a couple picks. She might just about get it done here. She does! She figures out the combo in the nick of time here. It's a 3rd win of the series for Nutsova, and she just about holds on against a resurgent Pastelova for a 3rd win of the series. Redemption from game 1 where she finished just in 6th place. It will be 2 second places for Pastelova, not quite getting the same wins that he was getting when he swept week 4, of course. And we have just had probably the best week of Hive TFT, I think, by a mile.
Yeah, that was rough. Again, Steph getting that clutch, not very clutch. Steph getting that revenge victory last week on Pastelova, and then Nat making a resurgence after her her lost game last game. We are tired here at Hive Esports Games, but
Definitely. A very, very... I think that kept us awake, though. Might be a bit sleepy. The worker bees aren't maybe fluttering their wings quite as quickly. But that very much kept us awake. Just 2 points apiece for both Nutsova and Pastelova going into that final game. It was absolutely winner-take-all. No bones about it. But ultimately, it was Nutsova getting it done. Back to winning ways as we reach the halfway point. So we'll be going back behind the scenes to do some worker bee maths. I don't think in that second game either anyone got any prismatic traits or anything like that. So no bonus points, unfortunately. We'll see if anyone can get any more in week number 6. But we're now at the halfway point. Nutsova, I believe, is going to retain the championship lead going into week 6, but it is still all to play for with a lot of players surging up towards the front. Steph with his first win. Pastelova with 2 more podiums to add to his long list of many, many good finishes in the series so far. 5 weeks down, 5 more weeks to go. It's still anyone's game. It's all live here on twitch.tv/Hive Esports Games. And keep up, of course, with all our socials on Twitter and on Instagram, as well as on YouTube, to keep up with our behind-the-scenes stuff and to get a sneak peek at who might be leading the championship before we tell you all live in week number 6. But that'll be all for this week of the Hive Esports Teamfight Tactics series. We'll be back this same place, the same time, the same day, Monday next week for week number 6 of the series. We'll see you very, very soon. Have a good night and goodbye.
Good night.